What's up, everybody? What did I tell you about Palo Alto Networks? I called that one out yesterday if you watched my video. I put that one out before market opened yesterday evening. If you haven't, check it out. I'm going to put it up here or here after the video. That way you can see exactly how I pointed out that setup for you guys. I only wish that I went into it with more conviction, okay? Anyways, U.S. equities rebounded strongly after a recent weakness, specifically this past Friday on June 26th, the closing day of last week. It was bad. They rotated over to safe havens and into healthcare and defensive and stuff like that. But nonetheless, today's comeback was supposedly driven by a tech and AI reassessment, including easing with the U.S.-Iran geopolitical tensions, of course, and thus bringing back a nice, broader risk-on sentiment, okay? In this video, I'm going to cover some exact stocks that you can make some real money with if you play it the right way, and I'm going to cover exactly what you need to know. So continue watching, okay? I'm going to give you those stocks in here. But before we get started, right, it helped me out a lot if you click that like button, that subscribe button for me, and also if this video helps you out in any way, please share it with others. Let's get going. So we take a look right here on Yahoo Finance, right? We get a pulse check. The S&P 500 up 86 bucks, Dow Jones up $300. Looks like a pretty good day. Nasdaq up $500. That's a pretty darn good day, right? The VIX is down. That's the fear gauge, the volatility right there. And then of course they're getting out of gold and the gold ETF that I had shown in my last video. Okay, so they're taking money out from the safe havens and back into these growth stocks. So that's a good news right there. Now, if you take a look at the economic sectors, right, technology's up, industrials are up. The way that you can get here is if you were to hover over the markets and just click on sectors, it'll bring you here. And then, of course, if we click on technology, we've got this right here, industries in this sector, and we've got our favorite, right, the semiconductors right now, which is going to be your NVDA, your Qualcomm, your Micron, your SanDisk, etc., your Intels, the ones that we all love right now. And of course, they're up 1.83%, almost 2%. Pretty darn good day for those stocks. If we take a look at them, you know what? Let's just do a rundown on them real quick here. All right, here we've got the semiconductor stocks. If you scroll down, you'll find all the semiconductor stocks, right? Of course, our favorite NVIDIA right here, up 1.27% today. Broadcom up 2%. Micron up 1%, AMD up 3%, etc. Moving on downwards, we've got Marvell up 4%. So a lot of them are looking pretty darn good. Semiconductors have climbed back a little bit today, and it's looking pretty good for the semiconductors sector right now. So now what did I tell you guys about Palo Alto Networks? They went from 308 up to 332 closing today, looking pretty darn good, up 9.14%, up $27.80 today in one single day. Why is that? Because they broke a ceiling. They went higher than their last high, and I showed you all that in my last video. Again, I'm going to put it up here or up here somewhere. If you haven't gotten to take a look at it, it's the one that I made yesterday, so just check that out. Want to know exactly why Palo Alto Networks jumped up? Let's take a look right here. This is a article that I had found on Bar Chart. Palo Alto Networks continues perfect execution amid AI risk. Here's what you want to know before buying Palo Alto Networks stock at a questionable valuation. Okay, so a blowout earnings report and lucrative acquisition saw Palo Alto Networks stock double in a span of just 3 months. After nearly a month of inaction, the stock price is again registering all-time highs, new all-time highs, prompting investors to take notice. What's moving PANW stock now? And is it the beginning of the next leg up? I think so, but in my opinion, if you want to get in on Palo Alto Networks, wait for a pullback, a confirmed pullback, and then it'll be moving its leg back, going upwards, in my opinion at least. So that's just what I want to share with you on that. Earlier in the week, Palo Alto Networks announced that it was expanding its collaboration with International Business Machines, which is IBM, and Red Hat as part of IBM's Project Lightwell. The project aims to secure open source software against AI-enhanced cyber threats. Now, if you don't know what Palo Alto Networks does, they a long-standing company, great company that works on cybersecurity. And so that's exactly what they're working with IBM on. That's a big deal for them. Right here says the company's technology comes in when something needs fixing without disrupting enterprise workflow. What that means, right, is that, when they need to fix something to do with cybersecurity, right, because cybersecurity, nobody wants to be hacked by other and held hostage by, some of these ransomware and stuff like that, right? Palo Alto can make some updates that will protect their systems, their workflows, without disrupting everything that they've got going on. That's what makes Palo Alto valuable. That's what they're saying here. And as soon as a cyber threat is detected, Palo Alto Network can deploy a virtual patch at the network layer to block any exploitation attempts without having to take the system offline. That's massive, especially if you think about these huge corporations, government enterprises. They need to continue their business. They can't just stop for an update. I mean, when we get our regular updates on our personal computers already, it already takes a lot of time out of our own personal time. So, of course, if you think about on a business operational standpoint, it is greatly impactful. They don't want to deal with that. That's what makes Palo Alto bring value to the marketplace. This development further strengthens the company's role in a world where AI threats are increasingly worrying. And if you think about it, I mean, especially with AI, they're using AI to hack into systems now and things like that. It's becoming stronger and better and smarter when they try to get into the systems. AI's role is creating huge threats, and that's where Palo Alto Network comes in, because they're going to defend against all that. Now, right here just says, what's the analyst saying about Palo Alto Network stock? On June 3rd, both Jefferies and Robert Baird raised their price targets on Palo Alto Network while maintaining their buy ratings. Jefferies increased the price target from 300 to 335, while Robert Baird raised its price target from 300 to 320. And the interesting thing is that, of course, right after today, it's already at 332. What do you think that means? That means that these analysts, the greatest analysts on the planet, they're going to be re-rating Palo Alto Networks. And what does that mean? That means that institutional fund managers, they're going to be forced to buy more of this stock, which is going to force it to climb up higher. When they buy the stocks, guess what happens? All the call options ends up getting bought, and then it pushes the stock even higher. So that is the next leg up, in my opinion, at least. So keep an eye out on Palo Alto Networks. Okay, just wanted to share that with you all. One thing I wanted to cover, okay, with the stocks that I think are going to be doing very well, something I wanted to share with you all since the beginning of this, the start of this video, okay, all the MAG7, they're up right now. Alphabet, which is, known as Google, okay, look at this gap up right there. Today, gapped up from the 330-ish level up to the 350-ish level. Okay, that's a massive jump $16.59, almost 5% jump today. Keep an eye out on Google, okay? They're fantastic, and they had, if you take a look, we're going to go to the 6 months view, they had gone down quite a bit from their all-time high of, roughly about, close to $400-ish right there. So Google's one to watch. Amazon, $240 closing today, up $7, up 3% today. Take a look at this gap up right there. That was even more than the 240. It went from the 230-ish level to the 245-ish level, and then now closed at 240. So Amazon, if you guys remember, just a few months ago, and let's back into it. They were roughly at about 270-ish, okay? Undervalued right now. Amazon, one of the greatest companies on the planet. You got to keep your eyes on that. And then, of course, Tesla, right? I mean, Tesla's got this really interesting vibe because of Elon Musk. And, they're not, at the end of the day, if you take a look at going back, okay, they've been a little bit volatile, but just back in May, they were in the 440-ish range, okay? And they're trying to make their way back up there right now. Today, they closed at 411, $32 up, 8% up, jumping up, okay? That's this gapping up from today. So keep an eye out on the MAG7 if you want, okay? There's the ETF. It's MAGs. All right, so here's the MAGs, okay? I just punched in MAGs. This is the ETF for the Magnificent 7 right here. All right, if you take a look, June 26th, that was Friday. It was at $60. Today, jumped up to $63. So when the ETF that covers your MAG7, which is your Microsoft, which is your Tesla, which is your Amazon, which is your Google, etc., which is your NVDA, okay, when it jumps up, that means all those stocks are climbing up. So, or at least most of them are carrying the weight up. That's how I wanted to describe it. Okay, so most of them are carrying up the weight, although maybe a couple of them are not doing as well as the others today. But that's what I'm trying to say, though. My point is that if you take a look at the MAG7 ETF, if it's going up, you gotta keep an eye on that. So that's all I got for you guys. Okay, keep your eye out on the MAG7. Keep your eye out on Palo Alto Networks. Do your pulse checks with the ETF. Do your pulse check with the 10-year yield. Do your pulse check with the different sectors and how they're performing before you make your move, okay? Best of luck to you. If you like this video, click that like button for me. Give me a subscribe. And then if you have any questions, drop it into the comment section for me. Okay, I'll see you guys next time. Make it a great day.